Your spirit. When the nation held its breath, we stayed present, informing, connecting, caring. Across Lagos, Port Harcourt, Benin, Abuja, and every heartbeat in between. One rhythm, one sound, one family. And now,
what are some of the infrastructural challenges that property owners and residents in Lagos deal with that people don't necessarily see from the outside?
Okay, so let's start with elevators.
Elevators?
Yes.
Okay.
An ideal homeowner or resident just expect to press a button and they get to their floor, right? Those are mechanical parts that go up, down, up, down. They have brakes and they have support systems, electronics that wear out due to poor power supply and what have you, right? Now, as they age, it becomes even harder to maintain. Sometimes you hear this product, this particular make is out of stock, so they have to manufacture it specifically for that estate. I live in such an estate, that's why I have this kind of unique experience about it. So you see spending more than necessary, and at some point you probably hear things like from the vendors like, you need to probably just get a new elevator because this is not going to serve anymore because maintaining it is costing higher than acquiring a new one. So that is it. Then also the water system. Water runs through the system, the chemicals erodes the pipe, it keeps going on and on. You don't start having frequent breakages of pipes, water shortages and all that. So there are a lot of hidden things that if you are not proactive as a facility management company, you keep having to give poor service to the residents and homeowners.
And speaking of pipes eroding, I know that now there are more use of plastic pipes rather than the metal pipes that were used back in the day. So, give or take, how many years do you think these things would probably last before they need replacement?
Averagely, let's say, now you need to understand that these pipes the waters are running with high pressure, right? They are pumping machines that are pumping, so the gums are wearing out and what have you. So basically you see maybe within 5 to 7 years you start seeing the need to replace sometimes it might be human error. Someone mistakenly drops something on the pipe and it gets broken and it needs to be worked on. That one you can't really put a time frame to it. But definitely between 7, 8, 10 years, you see yourself having to try to replace the scaffoldings for the overhead tanks and also changing some pipes as they wear out.
Okay. Let's talk about electricity again. In some private estates right now, residents pay separately for power infrastructure and consumptions. They even go as far as paying for water supply as well in some estates. How should these costs ideally be structured to maintain a more fair and sustainable structure for the tenants?
Yeah, when you talk about fairness, the only way to achieve fairness is through metering, right? If you are providing a service and you want to charge for it, it's actually best to have a meter that can actually give them the opportunity to pay for what they use. However, not everybody have that capacity to provide meters. Now, for the electricity part, we have smart meterings from various companies that you can actually use to monitor how the power is being used. You have people do things like maybe a diesel deposit. Another option you have is like a dual tariff meter system, where if you're running on generator, you're charged higher. If you're running on public power, you're charged lesser. Some have a blended tariff, single tariff meter, where the estate has the opportunity to calculate the public power plus the maybe generator or plus the IPP. They get an average, and that's what they use to bill their customers. So when you talk about fairness in terms of utility
bills,
yes, the best way is through metering instead of estimation. Because I'll give you an example now. I'm in a 10 flats apartment. Okay, now about 3 of those flats are empty. So if there is no meter, by the time they want to use that flat, they just say, this is your bill.
Are they empty because of the meter, or because of the lack of meter, or because of the prices, or the fact that there are no customers to rent them out?
I think some are not ready. Some are trying to decide between rental and sale. Let's put it that way. Some, they are not. They have a particular lady said, "Oh, I'm coming end of the year," right? So if you have a meter, definitely you will not be charged till you start running the system. Yeah.
But that's the benefit of smart metering. As far as it's not being used, then it's not being calculated.
Correct.
Right. Okay. While we're still talking about that, who should ultimately bear the cost of infrastructure maintenance? Is it the developer, the property owner, the landlord, the tenants? Who should bear these costs?
It's the homeowner, the landlord.
Okay.
Yeah, because the developer is there to build and to put the infrastructure
and hand over.
Now, by the time you're making your payments, there's something called the development fee. That's almost like another term for infrastructure fee, right? So the homeowner eventually pays for the infrastructure.
Go on.
Yeah, and what else?
If the homeowner pays for the infrastructure, and then I know that for a place like Lagos, there's something called
service charge.
Service charge.
Okay.
When does that kick in?
Well, service charge is basically just for repair or maintenance of the infrastructure, not necessarily replacement, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to replacement, it's the homeowner's responsibility. When it comes to repair or maintaining, for example, the water systems, the cylinders, the chemicals, that covers part of the service charge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it. So that's the difference.
So at no point am I, as a tenant, responsible or expected to cover repairs. I should always fall back to my homeowner.
Yes, you should always try to have that discussion, though it might be difficult, but you can have that discussion with them and work out something.
And what if my homeowner fails and says, no, you are the one living in the house. Do repair it how you like. It's your house, fix it. Because there are people like that.
Yeah, definitely. I know that. So maybe then you have to go to Lagos State for mediation or something.
Okay, we'll get back to that conversation. You're still listening to Talking Assets on Rhythm 93.7 FM, and we have a guest right here in the studio who has been sharing some views with us. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, the show continues. Do stay with us.
Beyond borders, streaming across continents, connecting Nigerians in the diaspora and global listeners searching for the sound of home. We didn't just grow, we grew with you. Through weddings and wins, through heartbreaks and hustle, through late nights, early mornings, and everything in between. Because it was never just radio. It's lifestyle, it's culture, it's connection. More music, less noise, more feeling, more life. This isn't just a station. This is your rhythm. RhythmFM, growing with you everywhere. From your very first day in secondary school, to campus dreams that kept you awake at night, to that first job interview that changed everything. From traffic on 3rd Mainland Bridge to quiet midnight thoughts under an open sky, there has always been one frequency riding with you. Rhythm 93.7 FM didn't just play music, we scored your moments. When you celebrated, we turned it up. When you stumbled, we lifted your spirit. When the nation held its breath, we stayed present, informing, connecting, caring. Across Lagos, Port Harcourt, Benin, Abuja, and every heartbeat in between. One rhythm, one sound, one family. And now, beyond.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just tuning in, you've missed some juicy information. The show is still Talking Assets here on Rhythm 93.7 FM. And so far, I have been speaking with Michael Iyere Okoje, who is a project manager, business administrator, and entrepreneur with experiences that have spanned years in real estate and property management. And Michael is still here in the studio with us. Hello.
Hi.
You look like you were considering whether to say hi or just to say hello, Lagos. Well, so let's get back to our conversation real quick because our time is also fast spent. We've been looking at some of the properties and how to manage the infrastructure. But now let's take a look at a different aspect. Who should ultimately bear the cost? Okay, we've talked about maintenance and repairs. Can poor infrastructure actually cause a property to lose its value? How?
It's very easy. I'll give you an example. My wife owns a kitchen brand, Gulliver Kitchen. Shout out to Gulliver Kitchen.
No, we're not doing that free branding here.
Okay, no free branding, sorry. We got a space in Osaka, London, about a year ago, and it was really bad. 6 months down the line, we had to start making arrangements to move. It took a while, but now we've moved to a much more better space. So what happens is that when people come around and ask questions, because moving to the new space, she had to ask, how is this place like? How is the water? How is the light? And it was a positive review compared to where we were coming from. So basically, for someone looking to rent a space, you need to ask those very important questions. Does it flood? You don't want to come out and meet your car floating, or you meet water in your living room. Unfortunately, that's what we're experiencing.
Which has been going on lately.
Yeah, so it's very important to ask very tough questions. Sometimes you might need to even drive out, come to that same space at night,
take a look
and observe. You understand what kind of people am I seeing here? Is this where I want my family to grow up? Yeah. So poor infrastructure is a no-no. Is a no-no for me. And for people that are going through that, I don't think you should spend more time there. Just find an alternative.
But I mean, like you rightly just explained, with your better half, you were told that the property was a good one, the location was good, and on getting there, you see that you've been lied to. How then do you manage? What then do you do? Because you've spent so much money paying for the place already. Or did you not pay yet?
No, we paid. We stayed there.
So how then do you manage? What do you do?
We had to, for example, for the water issue, we had to get a tank, a pumping machine, and run a surface pipe to the kitchen to handle the water issue. You understand? We had to install an inverters for the light because the light was terrible. Yeah, and of course you had to get a backup generator. So those are things you just do, but it can't be something you do on the long term.
Long term.
It's just short term to just let that face pack. Because going back to talk to the landlord, you hear things like, oh, I can refund you, but you can't refund the commissions. You understand? So that is a total loss. So and since it's a business that is operational, you just have to make do with what you have and just move on at the end of the year. So that's it. And when people keep moving out of buildings, it becomes a known thing around. So even if you ask, like, don't go there because the facility is very poor. So
the property value drops automatically. Word of mouth too.
In Lagos, it might not drop, but you know what I mean. People won't want to take it except they are very, very desperate. Yeah. It might remain stable, but dropping, I don't know about that.
So even in places like Lekki, Ikoyi, VI here where we are, the price just keeps going up because I've seen some very horrible properties. I see you nodding. Use your words.
Yes.
Okay. For someone looking to buy a property as an investment, what are the infrastructural red flags that should make them pause before committing their money? Or what should we investigate exactly before committing money? What's the red flag?
First of all, is the environment. Are there flooding issues? Are there issues of miscreants around the place? Because it might deter future tenants from...
In other English, miscreant is agberu, just so you know. Okay?
Yes. Then you look at the water. You understand? Because some people can't cope with bad water. And you can't spend all your days buying like bottled water or bags of water to take a bath. Then you can just look at just a physical inspection to the water plant will tell you the state of the water, because you might see it all reddish with algae growing around it. Yeah. Then as simple as the area where they have their dustbin, is it cleared? Apart from is it cleared, is it swept? So those are little cues that will make you know that, okay, these people, they actually know what they're doing. Then you can actually have a one-on-one interview with the facility manager company or the person or the caretaker in charge. I
feel like they'll always lie to you or try to, because there are businessmen who are trying to sell their business and their properties, so they may never really tell you the truth. Example, the person that rented to you.
True. But then again, you just have to have that conversation. So if it comes to a time where they are not meeting up to expectation, you can talk to them about it, and you can actually maybe take other steps to get your money back if it's a no-no for you. That's something you can't manage.
All right. While we're still looking at this, and speaking of no-nos, when you are trying to get a property, there's always this document that you will sign, right? Normally, it comes from the homeowner, where you sign a document that's for one thing or the other. Am I allowed, as a tenant or an intending tenant, to also draft out the documents to hand it over to the landlord and say, hey, let's sign this, so that if something goes wrong, you know that you're culpable for this and it's your error? Will that make the landlord refuse to give me the house?
When they send you the initial document, they call it a draft. Going through that draft, if you notice that there are some things that you're not okay with, you can actually discuss it and ask them to add it back to that agreement. So an example would be maybe restructuring. You want a bigger wardrobe, you want to do this, you want to do that. You can't just do it on your own. You have to say, okay, fine, I like this place, but I have a problem with the size of the wardrobe. Am I allowed to expand it? Then you can put a note to that.
Who is supposed to cover that bill?
No, it's your choice. They are providing the property to you as is, right? So you now wanting a bigger space, because before you do anything structural, you must let the landlord know.
The owner.
Yeah,
Okay.
know that that's what you want to do.
So finally, if you had to give a prospective property investor just 3 things to check beyond the building itself, what would be those 3 things? I want to get a property, and there are just 3 things you want me to look out for before I get that property. What would you advise me to look out for?
The first one is, what is the reason? Why are you getting that property? Is it for the service apartment business? Then you might need to look at the location, right? Is it for your family to stay in? Then you have to look at the environment, okay? Then is it to buy and flip, right? Then you might look at what are the prices of properties around there compared to what you're about to buy. You understand? And you look at, for example, things like, are they having shared bathroom, or all the rooms are in suites? Are the kitchen, is the kitchen big enough? Does it have a maid's room? Yeah, those are some of the things they need to look at before they go ahead with their purchase.
All
But
right.
the last thing I would say is they should shine their eye very well.
Shine your eye. This is Lagos, or maybe beyond Lagos, Abi?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Michael, if you had to choose between a beautifully finished property with poor infrastructure and a modest property with excellent infrastructure, which would you consider?
I would consider a modest,
Why?
because my line of business, I get to do a lot of upgrades, right? So poor infrastructure would not work for me. I'd rather have something that they have their facility management intact, and I just need to maybe break a few walls, do some paintings, improve on the lighting, even the outside environment as well. Yeah, to make it suit my customers' taste.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Well, that's where we'll draw the curtain on today's edition of Talking Assets. A big thank you to you, Michael
You're welcome.
Okoje, for joining us and for helping us look beyond our walls and finishing locations and our environments, and looking at the value of our properties.
You're
All right.
welcome.
And to you, our listeners, remember that a property is more than just a building. All right. It's more than just any building you see. It is the infrastructure, the management, and there's like a lot of the value behind it can also determine whether it becomes a profitable asset or simply an expensive structure. I am Faith Vicot, and I want to say thank you so much for listening and for being a part of Talking Assets today. Michael, I know that you are more into, you are also into service apartments, so I'll bring you in another day and we can talk about that in details. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. Real quickly, if we want to reach out to you via social media, how can our listeners reach out to you?
Yeah, you can check us out on Gulliver_apartments.com, and Gulliver on Instagram at Gulliver_apartments and Gulliver_kitchen.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Also, you can do well to follow us across all social media platforms at 937 Rhythm FM, 937 Rhythm FM. And you can reach out to me personally at yours faithfully on Instagram, YOURS_FAITHFULLI Lagos. Thank you so much for being a part of Talking Assets today. Real talk, real assets, and real growth. Until next Thursday, keep your assets working for you. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye-bye.
Borders, streaming across continents, connecting sound of home. We didn't just grow, we grew with you. Through weddings and wins, through heartbreaks and hustle, through late nights, early mornings, and everything in between. Because it was never just radio. It's lifestyle, it's culture, it's connection. More music, less noise, more feeling, more life. This isn't just a station. This is your rhythm. Rhythm FM, growing with you everywhere.